dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. I'm Alex Christenson, and joining me as always, looking pretty in pink today, Mr. Andy Molitor. How are we doing?
It's like salmon. I am. It does look good though. I am looking good, feeling good. Yeah, we have been having a morning. I'm not the biggest NBA guy, but it's still the NBA playoffs, and Christ's sakes, we've had a 12 hours here between I stopped watching the Bucks game actually for a bit. I was like, oh, all right, this is what we're gonna get. Like Harden's garbage, and it's not gonna happen here, and this game's probably over. And then I tuned back in, and boy howdy, it went from I don't know, like what was it, 15, 17 point lead to basically back in the game. I mean, some 3 point shooting there helped. That kind of kept him in it, and then Durant playing. Somebody making fun of me. I was talking about the plus minus, and they're like, Andy Brinks and says, Andy, he's played every minute. His plus minus is just going to be whatever the score is, the differential. I'm like, yeah, that does make sense. But yeah, maybe, and I didn't realize it at the time. I don't know. Greatest, maybe not. I hate when we get caught in the moment and say greatest, but top five playoff performance. Played the whole damn game, triple dubbed like that, willed him to a win. That was pretty amazing by the old snake.
It's a reminder that Kevin Durant might have been the best player of this generation had LeBron James not been alive. I mean, you go back and you look at some of the games that he's played last night, and I know he gets a lot of crap for going to join Golden State and all that stuff, but if my life depended on someone on planet Earth getting a basket, it's Kevin Durant. That's my first choice. It's very quick. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time thinking about it. He is unbelievable. He is, I think, going to retire as one of the 15 best players of all time, if not better. He's arguably the greatest scoring forward of all time. And what we saw last night was just him at his very best, taking his time, being surgical, looking for his spots, letting the game come to him, and knowing that, I'm just going to keep making shots. And as long as we can keep this close, I know when it gets down to the end, I have me and they got nothing. So, hats off to Kevin Durant for sure.
Yeah, it was wild. That series certainly is not over. He's got to be gassed. Harden looks like shit, and Kyrie, who knows what his status is. So, some intrigue there, but definitely advantage. I mean, you saw what the odds. The odds were almost minus 200 for the Bucks, and it flipped to like what minus 350 for the Nets. So, obviously advantage Nets. And then this morning we wake up, and I mean, it's funny. We were talking a little fair right when you got in, like they kind of slipped a coach firing in there this morning. It's like a news dump, which is the least of our concerns at this point. The Kawhi thing, probably second fiddle even to the Suns news, but that one actually is a game that we have coming up. So that was 2.5, 3 we were seeing, and then obviously came off the board. Kawhi says he's out. I don't know if this is going to be a Harden thing where it's like 10 hours from now or whenever this game is late. Yeah, we're going to end up with one of these, like, Kawhi's going to get out there and he's going to try. He's going to feel things out. He's going to warm up and see what happens. Hopefully that's not going to happen unless you're sitting on some Clippers +7 now, I guess. But madness this morning with this one again. Any take on the series, the conference? There was a few locals that were a little slow on taking conference futures down. I might be in the Jazz boat now.
Yeah, I think that's the move. Start putting together some Jazz futures. It's just so much uncertainty. So, like from a higher, more macro perspective, the Western Conference now, we know Chris Paul is in quarantine. We know that the last time there was a COVID thing, LeBron James broke protocol, didn't have to go into quarantine, didn't have to isolate, didn't have to do anything, didn't so much as get fined, I think. Got to play in the next game. So, to me, what that means is, again, total conjecture. I have no idea, and I'm not sure anyone does. It leads me to believe that Chris Paul probably has COVID or is tested positive in some way. So we'll see how that goes. If he does have it, that's, I believe we're looking at probably 2 weeks, and that probably puts him out for most of, if not all, of the Western Conference Finals, which leaves Phoenix really without enough firepower. If he tested positive, he tests negative, and he comes back for the Western Conference Finals, I think the Suns are in pretty good shape. Now you look at this series tonight. We know that Kawhi Leonard is going to be out. I don't think that he is going to sneak back on, kind of like Harden did, and is probably out for the rest of the series, which means the Jazz should be comfortably favored here. They're the better team. This could actually be good. Give them a little bit of time to get Mike Conley healthy. So I think it's just a great opportunity for Utah at this point. Again, assuming that Chris Paul is going to be out for part of the Western Conference Finals, which seems likely, I think this is a nice opportunity for the Jazz. So anybody that was able to get a Jazz Western Conference future this morning, I think there was some plus 150, something in that range right before they start pulling stuff down. Congratulations. But I'm curious to see what they look like once things reopen. Again, I think the Jazz will be the favorite, but every time we think we know what's happening, something happens.
Yeah, I'm done trying to predict what's going to happen here. This was a wild ass morning, obviously. So, well, stepping away from that Jazz game, we can get into actually tonight's game. The other one, little bad luck for us at the end of the other Sixers game, but we do have a lot of 2-2 series ties. This has been fun. This is the 30-30 point in tennis, which is so important to get this one done. Sixers host it, Philly -7. I mean, they're favored by 7. Supposed to win. Decent, what's that money line come out to? I suppose probably about a 65% chance to win. I'm guessing that's 220, something along those lines. Are you worried though, along the lines of more longer term, like deeper into this series, into the Eastern Conference Finals, about that meniscus? Are we calling the Sixers dead, or are we just hoping it holds, like, duct tape, barbed wire, a little bit of paper, just MacGyver that knee back together, and hopefully he can make it like another 6-8 games?
That's the hope. And, my optimism is at this point is every team continues to just fall apart and lose somebody here as they go along. If the Sixers don't have Joel Embiid, they're still a pretty talented team. If, they can sort of keep it together until Danny Green gets back. They have a nice roster. It's obviously not a championship level roster, but it might be a championship level roster in the world where the Jazz have Donovan Mitchell on one leg, no Mike Conley, there's no Chris Paul on the Suns, no Kawhi Leonard on the Clippers, and the Nets are rolling out there with Kevin Durant and nobody. I mean, it's
a very tired.
And that's
Kevin
the world
Durant
we might live in. So, from a macro perspective, I think they're still going to win this series, which would be great for our little each-way bet that we got there on the Eastern Conference Finals. It's tonight's line, I'm looking at 6.5. It's pretty much the line it was in Game 2 after the Sixers lost Game 1. That closed, I think, 6.5, somewhere in that range. So pretty much the same number, which makes sense. You look at what happened in Game 4. You start to put together the Sixers lost the turnover battle by, I think, 8, lost the offensive boards battle by 4. Obviously Atlanta shot worse, but despite all of that, they had the ball. They had the ball in Joel Embiid's hands within 3 feet of the basket to win the game. So everything went wrong in the second half. They were still able to put it together. Tonight, though, I'm looking for a team total over here. I'm seeing 114.5, even some 115.5. So I think over either number is pretty solid. I was able to get 114.5 here. You start to look back, the Sixers have gone over that number in 3 of the 4 games that they've played. They've gone over that number in every home playoff game so far. Yes, I know that things are a little bit different, but they play well at home. I start to look at some of my projections here. I have them closer to 116, almost 117 myself tonight. And again, worried about the spread, given how Atlanta's been able to close out some of these games, and the Sixers have, frankly stalled in the fourth quarters of these games. I mean, 38 points in the second half is just unbelievable the other night. So I'm going to go with the team total over here, back in the comfy confines of Wells Fargo Center. Let's hope the Sixers put up a big number and win.
And yeah, as producer Dan just alerted us to, another coach firing. Been a busy morning in the NBA. Scotty Brooks.
I forgot he still worked there.
Honestly,
I know the Sixers played them in round 1. Kind of forgot he was still the coach.
Yeah, I probably did too there. So a couple coach firings, a massive injury, a crazy comeback, a COVID scare. Not even COVID scare. It sounds like it's full on COVID. This isn't like a pregnancy scare. This is a pregnancy. This could be bad. Hopefully CP3 is all right, but that really changes the landscape. Euros, I swept the board yesterday after a winless day, which was nice. One of them was like plus 180 too. So I was back into the positive until this morning when I lost in a Finland, just a hair offside. If they'd score that goal,
like literally a hair.
I feel like I can get full chili on that first half, handicap. Ended up with a stoppage time, first half stoppage time goal from Russia, which whatever. It was a great goal. That was a great score. I can't believe that one ended 1-0. I'm surprised Russia didn't bag another one.
I didn't see the XG or whatever it is, but it seemed like they should have had another one at some point there. I mean, they put one off the post in the first half.
Finland ended up with a couple nice runs too. They didn't have a ton of possession, but when they were getting the ball, they had some nice possessions, some nice opportunities. But yeah, I did again. My promise continues. I'm just slightly in the negative, which doesn't feel too bad after this many matches. Everybody's played one. Two teams have played twice. We will have a special guest tonight on the deep dive as we get into the Euros again. But yeah, Turkey on the draw no bet or pick tonight at -119. And Italy on the handicap. This is actually a little bit of a like selling a quarter goal. The actual handicap here is -0.75. I took it up to a full goal. I think we can end up with a 2-0, 3-1 winner here.
Andy, how do you have 3/4 of a goal?
So it's two bets. Like it ends up as two bets. Like if you see one of these that says 0.25 or 0.75, you're making two bets. Like it's just splitting your stake in half. So you either end up losing both, winning both, or you can end up with a win and a push, a loss and a push. It's very convoluted. But yeah, I did bet one of these earlier in a Turkey match with the under 0.75 goals in the first half, which ended up with zero. So it all wins. But yeah, Turkey, I don't think this is kind of a theme. We said this morning about Russia. I don't think Russia was as bad as they seemed in their first match. I don't think Finland was as good as they seemed. But then again, there's travel, Pookie back. It was a tough one for me. Same thing with Turkey. A lot of people were on Turkey. They liked how Turkey looked. Turkey just had a really, a very tough opponent. This is going to be a lot easier of an opponent. Wales obviously got a draw, but I do like Turkey in this one with their firepower up front, and I'm getting them at a pick. So a draw is a push in this case. It's in Baku. There should be a good contingent of Turkish fans. I know it's not full capacity like we saw in Budapest, but there should be a bunch of Turkish fans here instead of, I don't know. I'm guessing some Welsh people made the travel spot too, though. And then Italy in Rome at home versus the Swiss. I wasn't impressed with the Swiss's first match. I'm honestly surprised actually that I guess they got a point. It was Wales. Like I'm betting against Wales. I'm not high on Wales here. So Italy -1. I see some people on the under here. I don't hate that either. So 1-0, 2-0 Italy, and yeah, Frankie Greco's happy about this. We're gonna ride Italy all until they play some good teams, bud.
Italy and I love it.
Italy got an easy group. We'll live with this for now. We'll make some money off Italy until they get into the knockouts.
Love it.
Tennis Cornet won, a big underdog. A couple of your big underdogs won, which was nice. The over, I didn't pay attention to that. What was it 21.5 for Sevastova?
It's 21.5. Yeah, we got 22 for Svitz Alexandrova.
Svitz Alexandrova. Yeah, I saw the 2-0 scoreline when I woke up, and I said, "Oh no, that's not what I'm like." Tie-break, and then looked. It was 6-4, 7-5. We ended up getting that over. So yeah, nice round of tennis for the first couple of days of picks here. Just one for today. Nothing in Germany, just England.
Yeah, it's tough. They're playing matches right now, so lines are starting to come out. There's 4 matches up in Germany. I can just touch on them quickly. Kerber Azarenka, thought maybe about an under there, but that could go 3 sets easily. Muguruza Rybakina, again, another match that should be really fun to watch. Thought about an under there, but passed. Pliskova is going to try to beat Jessica Pegula for the first time this year. Pegula's gotten her, I believe, 3, if not 4 times already. But Pliskova is kind of one of, if not the best grass player probably in this tournament. So we'll see if she can put it together after not a great start to the year. And then Samsonova, who won for us earlier as an underdog, is playing our girl Veronika Kudermetova. Can't really back either woman there. As you look in Birmingham, we've got Zhang. That's going to start in a few minutes, actually, probably just as we finish up the show. Kostakina's playing again. Martinkova's got Ostapenko, but there is a total. Ons Jabeur is playing Leila Annie Fernandez, the Tunisian, against the Canadian. I think that this is going to be a very long match. I think there is a chance we get 3 sets, but I don't think we're going to need it. I think we get a 7-5 here, maybe even a 7-6 right away to start. I'm going to be looking at some first set overs and things, waiting for some of those lines to open up and that market to develop a little bit. But like a lot of the overs here, got a nice price in the 20.5. It was right around standard juice. 21 is fine. If you have 21.5 at plus money, probably like plus 110 or better, it is okay if you wanted to sell a little bit, but really like the over here again, 20.5 or 21. 21 at standard juice is fine. If you want to pay 15 or even -20 for 20.5, that's okay too. So kind of in that range.
Ons. That is a hell of a first name. Ons Jabeur. So just one total today.
I'll fan club's back.
I'll pile on
She has
that.
one of
I'll
the best
pile on
little fan
odds.
clubs. She brings like 10, 12 people with her. They bring the Tunisian flag. They make a whole bunch of noise. It's fun.
I do like tennis fans. I'm glad some of that's coming back as well, especially what we saw at the French Open. So I'm actually clicking on WTA matchups just to make sure I can find this one now. Pagula, slight dog. No,
Yeah,
can't do it.
Pliskova on
Anyway,
grass. I was talking to Brett about that. He likes Pliskova.
yeah, golf starts tomorrow. Very excited. If you missed it last night, I shot a fucking 60 at Torrey Pines South Course. Kind of wrecked it, even with some questionable putting a couple times. I drove a couple of the fives. I closed with an eagle. It was a very nice round, all in all. We put together some good bets. In fact, I had one. Pam put one I really love. She bet the cut line over, basically betting on the course. You're betting on the cut line to be nice and high there. So I ended up piling on that too. I'll have all my matchups and stuff. I will have a blog up this afternoon. But tomorrow, just in day one, my first round matchups, this is all I have. Just these three for now. Brandon Grace over Wyndham Clark. I think we all know Wyndham Clark has been a fade of mine. Grace has played well. This price didn't make sense. I actually have this one way off to the point where I'm going to have to check my numbers and see what's going on here. But this is a sizable edge for me. So obviously I'll go 2-1. This one loses. If I go full Kelly on this, I could lose some money that way. But yeah, Brandon Grace or Wyndham Clark. Van Rooyen, tough to bet against a Minnesota golfer, but I don't love his form right now. And Stewie Sink. Stewie Sink's a winner on tour this year. I don't know if he's just getting a little disrespect based on age and tan line, but I will take that over Van Rooyen. And Adam Hadwind over another guy I've faded, Bernd Wiesberger, the Austrian. Again, I think probably getting a little too much disrespect or a little too much respect based off a win up in Denmark on the Euro Tour. It wasn't the strongest field, wasn't the toughest course, about 500 yards shorter than this one too. So Wiesberger's a fade for me this week. I'll take Hadwin over him. These are all just I didn't sell any strokes. I just played them because none of them were heavy favorites. In fact, Sink is actually the underdog in that Van Rooyen one. Yeah, these are all Chris prices, Jeff. If you're wondering, it's from that set of lines. I know there's 2 or 3 sets of lines out here this week. Potential one and dones. Redaholic said it's so tough this part of the year because it's like, hey, send me all the guys you've used already. How big is your your pool? Are you in a big pool? Are you way behind? Like if you're way behind, you need to get some get a little squirrely with it and try to find it. But yeah, I'm not doing good. I'm not doing bad, but I'm not doing good in any of my one and dones. So most of my one and done stuff will be taking some shots. Like I will be using some guys down the board. It'll be, 50-1 or bigger in all of them for me. So maybe some Usti if I have him, a couple other guys. It'll be basically I'm just going to take Australians and South Africans and long shots and put them in all my one and done. So kind of choose your own adventure on that sort of stuff based on how you're doing in yours. It's tough when you're doing bad because you do have to take shots. You have to use good golfers, I guess, but it depends who you have left as well. So I'm gonna get squirrely with it this week, and like I said, blog out today. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can check out the golf we went over last night. New look to that one too. If you like the new brown bags look. We have a new look on the golf show too. We
very pretty.
The production team put together a pretty nice little banner, and it looks a lot cleaner there too. So, good job to everybody involved, especially again producer Dan taking the lead on that one. We will have more. We'll have more of that. Deep dive will be looking better here soon. Eventually, once we get to that this summer. So look for more stuff like that. Follow us on Twitter if you want any more of that action, and make sure to do some betting over at WinBet. Thank you to the sponsor. $500 risk-free bets for those in the legal states where they are available. You can get that in our pinned tweet at BrownBagBets. I'm at Andy MSFW. He's at _Noops. I'm Andy. He's Alex. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do some more NBA tennis, golf, whatnot. Fun.
Just one more day till the Open.
Yep. See you guys tomorrow.